Hello, sellers. Today, as I film this, it's December 14th. Trying to do these videos for all of our sellers. This video only goes to our active sellers on the market. Trying to do this every other week for you. Hopefully, you've been able to kind of watch, pay attention to what we're talking about. Trying to give a little bit broader look at what's happening in the market, what's really impacting things in terms of inventory, what's happening in the valley as a whole, and then what we're doing on marketing and things like that. Go a little bit beyond this video, but obviously trying to get eyes on everybody's property is always super, super important. But let's talk a little bit about what's been happening in the last week or two in the market as a whole. Some interesting stuff has definitely transpired. One, we're obviously in the seasonality of the holidays. However, traffic has been starting to pick back up. We've seen now going on 5 weeks of mortgage applications increase. I say that, and at the same time, we're still at one of the lowest levels of demand we've ever seen in a market. However, the silver lining is we're starting to see supply go down and down and down, which we do see in December traditionally, but not to the degree that we're seeing right now. And so that's definitely having an impact. I'm going to share my screen, kind of give you just a glimpse of what I'm referring to, which is definitely a benefit if you are a seller in the market right now. This is going back to 2005, new listings by date, going all the way back to 2005. And this is through December 11th. What's interesting is only 1,099 new listings on the market last year to the same date on December 11th. We're at almost 2,000. You can see over the last almost 2 decades, we've not seen this few of listings hit the market in this time of year, which has helped because demand is so low. As listing inventory kind of comes down, that definitely helps in terms of what's available for the buyers that are in the marketplace. So kind of give you guys, I share this particular screen quite a bit and give you a glimpse at what is considered the concise market snapshot. We utilize a lot of different tools to look at these numbers. A couple things that I want to point out, obviously, our active listings on the market are still relatively high at 18,000 compared to what we looked at last year. If you were on the market last year, it was a third. Less 3x is what we're seeing right now on the market. We are down from last month, which is, again, going back to that new supply hitting the market is low. However, our average days on market continue to climb, with homes right now sitting on average about 90 days on the market across the board. So definitely, not a number that we like for sure, but it is a number that we're seeing across the board. Really not depending on where you are, Gilbert Mesa, etc. When we go down to Queen Creek, Santan, our listings on there, that number is definitely rising a little bit higher as well. And the average sale to list price continues to drop at about 96.8%. Right now, we are running about flat where home values were this time last year. I can definitely share some better graphs on that if you're curious to see what that appreciation looks like on your particular home, where we were last year based on price point. Happy to send that over to you. It definitely can get a lot more granular with it that way. What's really nice to see is this number. I've talked about this number a lot, this Cromford Market Index number. So one of the partners that we utilize a lot for the economics is Cromford Report, and they have a unique formula. It kind of talks about the market itself, and this is their index report of 90.6. We have officially back entered into what they consider a very weak, maybe a baby's buyer's market or a weak balanced market. Anything under 90 would be considered a buyer's market. And for the last few weeks, you've heard me talk about this being a definite buyer's market. Even if we look at some of those numbers, I'll give you one more graph here. This one's a little outdated at the moment. It's about a week old, but this is the Cromford market numbers for various cities. So you can see Mesa, for example, at a 74.2 as of last week. This is probably up just a hair, pushing closer to 80, but definitely still in a buyer's market. As I mentioned, if you're out in Queen Creek, for example, definitely seeing some demand diminishing down there. However, what the encouraging thing to take out of all of this, maybe mumbo jumbo, is the market is starting to come back a little bit. There are some analysts today on calls that we were on that talk about maybe this might have been the bottom. And I don't have a crystal ball. I hate even saying that. is just looking forward to what we're seeing. However, the other good news that's come this week is the CPI data report came out yesterday. I did a video on Instagram. Feel free to watch that as well. But the CPI data came out yesterday showing that inflation's cooling a little bit, which helps with our interest rates because interest rates follow the bond market. I know the Fed's today, it's Wednesday, December 14th. They just a couple hours ago announced their 0.5% rate hike on the Fed funding rate, but the Fed funding rate is not the direct correlation to mortgage interest rates. The great news for all of our sellers is we've seen interest rates come down nearly a point in the last 30 days, 45 days. They're hanging out right now around 6.4 before any concessions. That's the big thing that we're taking away. That we're seeing is almost 70% of deals in the last week that have gone through across the market, not our deals, but just across the entire arm list, are being sold with seller concessions. So sellers giving money to help buy back the rate versus a price concession. So instead of, say, your home is priced at $100,000, just for easy, quick math, instead of doing it and giving a $5,000 discount on the price, they're doing $5,000 helping to buy down the interest rate, which is helping to make that affordability level so important because at 6.5 versus 5.5 versus 4.5, for example, there's some great programs that are these 2-1 buy downs that a lot of sellers are contributing and helping buyers get there. So if it's not something that you've considered or have talked to, we'd love to talk to you a little bit more about those options, advertise that for you as well within the MLS. I know some of our sellers are doing that today, so that might not apply to you, but if you're one of the sellers that's not, definitely a very common thing right now, definitely something that helps even more so than maybe a price reduction. Obviously, going back to what sells a home, price, location, and feature set. So those are the 3 big items that people are looking for. Is it priced competitively based on its location? Is it priced competitively based on its feature set? And those are some important things to consider, especially in a tough market like we're in right now, where things have to be great. They have to look good. People are definitely out there. We're seeing an increase in that. We always do see an increase as we go into the new year. Obviously, a big chunk of this is depending on what happens with interest rates. As long as they continue their downward trend, which pretty optimistic that they will. There are a few economists and lenders out there who are predicting the opposite. Heard a lot more erring on the side that interest rates are going to continue to go down over the next couple of weeks, but expect some volatility as we've seen with just about everything. So definitely a lot of things happening. I was going to show you one more screen, bring this back up. This is what I was talking about, mortgage rates as of right now. This is as of 4 o'clock Eastern, so what, 35, 40 minutes ago, 6.3% on a 30-year fixed, which is definitely encouraging to see. And then as we go into the Crawford market, let me go back to this side of my page and refresh. This is what we were talking about earlier. So 90.6 as a whole on the market as of December 14th, but yet our demand is still pretty diminished. And the reason this number's gone up is because supply is diminished as well. So definitely a lot happening. You know, this is a lot of information, a lot of data. I just like to share the numbers, make sure that you as our client knows what's happening in the market. Happy to have a conversation. Feel free to give me a call, send me an email. Love to talk numbers and data if you want to go a little bit deeper to your zip code, your specific neighborhood, your square footage, etc. I have a ton of reports that we could look at to talk about what's happening in that particular arena. But this is your update for December 14th. Hope you guys have a great and fabulous afternoon. See you later.